Bcom semester 1, subject Human Resource Management, HRM. And guys, we already have finished our first chapter, and today we are going to start your new chapter, that is chapter 2 is Human Resource Planning. So guys, now we will understand what is human resource planning, because in our previous chapter we already had discussed that what is human resource, what is human resource management, why it is needed, and what are the different things and the concepts are considered in the human resource management. So guys, as we already know that what is human resource, so guys, human resource means the people, or we can say the employees or the workforce are working in a company or any organization are considered as the human resource. So today we are going to start our new chapter, human resource planning, and guys, you will learn these topics in this chapter. We will discuss introduction of human resource planning, definition of human resource planning, characteristics, need, objective, types, factors, human resource planning procedure, advantages of human resource planning, and there are certain limitations also. So guys, let's start the chapter with the introduction. What is human resource planning? So in the basic introduction, I will tell you that it is very necessary to have the planning of human resource so that we can know that how much employees do we need in our company, what will be the requirement in the future, and whatever the employees we needed, what will be the skills of the employees, what will be the qualifications of the employees, and how will we develop our employees, how can we get maximum output, and how can we utilize them properly so that we can get maximum production at minimum cost. So all these things will be considered in human resource planning, but the basic thing that you need to focus in the human resource planning is to balance the demand and supply of human resources. Means, what is the demand of human resources in our company or the organization, means how many employees do we need, and what is the supply of human resource from the market, means whatever the employees we are required, do we get the enough employees or not, and do we get as per the quality of employees do we require, and whatever the skilled labor we require from the market, then is there that much supply of that skilled labor or not. So we need to do such kind of discussion on this. And guys, this is what the introduction is. I don't read all the explanation in the introduction, but you can understand that what is it. Let's read. Human resource planning is an integral part. Integral means a very important part of the overall planning of any business unit. No business can prosper in the absence of sincere effort of personnel, that is human resource, is a fact that requires no further explanation. Lack of human resource planning is most likely to result in overstaffing and understaffing of the business unit. So without the human resource planning, you may get more employees than you actually required the employees, or you may get less employees than the actual requirement of the employees. So there must be a human resource planning so that we can know that exactly how many employees do we need in our company. So this is what the human resource planning all about. Now we will move further to the definition of human resource planning. There are certain definitions about human resource planning, but before starting the definition, I will tell you that there are two levels of human resource planning. The first one is at national level. Government do the planning of human resources so that each and every human resource can be used for some production purposes, and whatever the human resources available in a country can be utilized properly. So this is the level at a central level. We can say at a national level, government do such kind of planning to use the human resources, to utilize the human resources properly. And the second level is at firm level, or we can say a single industry level, at a company level. So guys, the second thing, at an individual unit level, where a company or a single firm, individual firm planning for the human resources as per his requirement, or as per its requirement, that a particular company require how many employees and how it will get the employees as per its requirements. So this is all about two levels of planning of human resources, one as national level and second at individual firm level. Now we will see the definition given by the different authors. The first one is, according to A.R. Smith, human resource planning involves the projection of manpower demand and the projection of manpower supply, and action to bring supply and demand into balance at a desirable level. Now, what is human resource demand and what is human resource? We can say manpower supply. So, guys, demand means how many employees do we need. Supply means we need to do the projection, we need to do the estimation, we need to predict that whether we will get the supply of the manpower that is required by us or not. So this is what the demand and supply, and this must be balanced, and according to that we should take an action into the force. So this is what the definition says. The next definition is, according to RFA Hobbes, human resource planning is a process of collecting. Guys, you need to focus on this line. Human resource planning is a process of collecting and analyzing information and making estimates for the following purposes. The one is to determine the possible effect on manpower of the current and proposed manpower policies, and second is to suggest the policies to solve the current and future problems of manpower. Means how many manpower do we have and what will be the requirement in the future, because it is ongoing process. The current manpower we are having, they may give us resignation, a death event can be happen, then transfer can be happen, then there are certain other things that causes the we can say vacancies of the manpower in our company. So we need to do the estimation about the future requirement of the manpower, that in future how many manpower do we need and how will we get those manpower from the different sources. So this is also one of the definition of the human resource planning. The third one is, Gordon Macbeth holds that human resource planning involves two stages. The first stage is concerned with the detailed planning of manpower requirement for all types and levels of employees throughout the period of the plan, and the second stage is concerned with planning of manpower supplies to provide the organization with the right type of people from all sources to meet the planned requirement. So guys, third definition says that there are two different stages. First stage is to estimate the requirement. In the first stage, company estimate the requirement, that how many manpower, how many employees do we need in the future at all the levels, whether it is a top level management, whether it is a middle level management, whether it is a bottom level management. Means at all the levels, how many employees, or we can say how much manpower do we need in future. And the second, at the second stage, we need to focus on the supply, that whether we will fulfill the requirement, whether there is an enough supply of the manpower as per our requirement or not. Means whatever the skill and qualities do we prefer for our manpower, whether the supply is available or not. So in two different sections, we can say in two different stages. The first one is to estimation of the requirement of manpower, and the other is to check whether the supply of such kind of manpower is available or not. Whether do we fulfill our requirement by getting the manpower according to our requirement, or whatever the skill and qualities do we prefer. So this is what the human resource planning. In the human resource planning, we will do the focus on the prediction, and we will also do the focus on the supply. So there is the demand and supply that we need to be focused on human resource planning, so that we can get enough employees as per our requirement. And the fourth definition we are having on the screen is, human resource planning is defined by Waiter. Now, what does the Waiter say about human resource planning? It is a process by which management determines how the organization should move from its current manpower position to its desired manpower position. Through planning, management strives to have the right number and the right kind of people at the right place at the right time, doing thing which result in both the organization and the individual receiving maximum long run benefit. So guys, this is also one of the important definition of human resource planning. In the human resource planning, the management determines that how can we transfer, we can say how can we uh, move from the current manpower situation to desired manpower situation. Now what is desired manpower situation? Desired manpower situation means we will have the employees which are highly skilled employees, which have enough qualities, they have maximum productivity. So this is what the desired manpower situation. If we are having the enough number of employees, which is not more not less, we only have the enough, we can say optimum number of employees, and whatever the employees we are having, they are highly qualified and skilled according to our requirement. So this is what the desired manpower situation. So by human resource planning, we can move our situation from current situation to desired situation. Means whatever the current situation of manpower we are having, by doing human resource planning, we can switch over from current a manpower situation to desired manpower situation. And by having a desired manpower situation, we can get enough productivity, we can get maximum utilization of the manpower that we are having, all the manpower that we are having as according to our requirement, whatever the skill we are preferring, that we are getting in our employees. So this is what the desired manpower situation. Through planning, management strive to have right number, means whatever the employees we are required, at whatever the number is, we will not it is very costly for it is very costly if we are having more number of people than actual requirement. And this will also gives us the loss if we are having less number of manpower than the actual requirement. So it is very important to have the exact number of the employees that are really required in our company. So guys, we need to focus on the things that are written over here. Through planning means through human resource planning, management strives to have the right number and the right kind of people, means whosoever the employees we are having in our organization have enough and adequate skills, they are competent to do their work and at the right place, means whatever the work has been assigned to the employees should be able to do that work as per their skill. So they must be at the right place, means if we give them the different kind of work, then whatever the skill he is having, then he will not do it perfectly. So we also need to do the focus on the place at the right time, means whenever we require such kind of employees, we need to have the employees that are required at a particular time. So this is also one of the important things, doing the things which result in both the organization and the individual receiving many maximum long term benefits. And it is not about the benefit of only the organization. By utilizing the human resources, only the organization earns the profit. No, it is not like that. We also need to focus on the benefit of both the parties. It is the organization that will earn the benefit from by utilizing the manpower, and there will be also important to have the benefit of the manpower who is working in an organization. So it is also required to focus on the benefit of both the parties in the human resource planning. So we can only do such thing possible by doing human resource planning in advance. Now, this is also sorry, there is also one of the definition in the screen, but we will not read all the definitions. You can read if you have the book. Now we will move further. Here are some points. Let's read what is it. Guys, it follows from the above definition that the main ingredients of human resource plannings are under. Means these are the things which are considered in the human resource planning. If you are doing the human resource planning, then these are the things that you need to uh, look into it. The first one is manpower inventory. Means what is the inventory? Inventory means stock. Whatever the manpower at what number, means at current situation or in the present time, how many number of the employees we are having, means how much stock do we have in present time, and based on that we need to think that in the future, if right now we are having 20 or 50 employees, and based on that we need to think that in future how many employees do we require. So based on the current number of the employees that we are already have, we need to estimate that in future what will be the requirement of employees. And the second thing is estimating future requirement. So this is also convey the same meaning that the future vacancies or manpower needs of organization must be anticipated in advance. The manpower forecast is concerned with anticipating the number of replacement caused by death, dismissals, resignation, retirement, transfer, promotion. So when all these things happens, there will be the requirement of manpower in our company. So we need to do the focus on all these things, that in a nearest period of time if such things happens, then we will also occur with the requirement of the manpower in our company. So in the human resource planning, estimating the future requirement of the employees is also there. The third thing is estimating manpower supply. Means whatever the requirement of plan or human resource we are having, whether we will get such kind of employees from the market or not. Means we also need to do the focus on supply of the human resources. So what is it? Supply forecasting is an important aspect of manpower planning. It is concerned with forecasting the number of employees that would be available to the organization. For this purpose, the manpower is classified by specialization and skills. Means, guys, if we require the manpower, there must be some categories that we need manpower with such kind of skills. We need manpower with such kind of qualifications, such kind of specializations. So we also need to check that whether we are able to get such kind of skilled employees from the market or not, whether the supply of manpower is available for the organization or not. So this will be also estimated in human resource planning. Now the fourth thing is balancing supply and demand. Means how no matter how many number of the employees we are demanding, whether we will get those number of the employees from the market or not. So there must be the balance between supply and demand. The planning process aims to bring supply and demand in equilibrium. The expansion of the business is to be planned keeping in view the availability of types of employees required. In case shortage, guys, in case shortage, either expansion program is revised or measures are taken to remove shortage through fresh recruitment, promotion, training, and transfers. So if we are planning to expand our business, for the expansion, we need more employees. But if there is a shortage of employees, then what we need to do? Either we need to postpone our planning or expansion of business, or we need to remove the shortage of the employees. We need to do the recruitment process again. We need to do such kind of actions so that we can get the number of employees that are required for our expansion. So with the planning of expansion, you also need more employees, and to get more employees you need to do such kind of actions so that you can get the number of employees that you are required. So this is what the balancing of demand and supply means. Whatever the demand is, there must be the number of employees are available to meet the demand. Now guys, this is also the focus. This is also one of the thing which is focused on the human resource planning. Now beneficial to both the parties. As I have already told you in the previous definition of the human resource planning, it is not only about the benefit of the organization, it is also important to have the benefit of the employees or the manpower who is working in a particular company. So, guys, human resource planning is of the great benefit of employers and employees both. If human resource planning results into optimum use of human resources, maximum profit are earned. Also, human resource planning includes program of training and skill development for the employees, which is a personal benefit to the employees. If an organization gives the training and development activities for the employees, then it is a benefit of personal benefit of the employees. So there must be the benefit to the both the parties. And the sixth ingredient is integrated approach. Since the various functions of personal management are closely interlinked, an integrated approach is possible due to human resource planning. Means all the functions of human resource management are integrated among each other. And guys, it is also very important to consider this aspect in each and every level of the management. So this is what the integrated approach, it is required at each and every level of the management. So guys, these are the 6 points which are considered in the human resource planning. If you are doing the human resource planning, you need to focus on these 6 points. And more than that, now we will see the characteristics of human resource planning. What are the characteristics of human resource planning? The first one is it is a managerial function. So guys, as the function of management is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, so all these things are the functions of the management. But human resource planning should also be the functions of the management. So we can consider the human resource planning is as a functions of management. So we can say it is a managerial function. Now the second characteristics is, we do not have the second characteristic over here. There is a mistake in a book. So, but let's start with third point: beneficial to both the parties. By doing human resource planning, we can focus on the benefit of the organization as well as the manpower also. Manpower or the employees must get the benefit from the organization in which they are working. Fourth point is top management's responsibility. Now, human resource planning is a responsibility of top management. It is not all about the bottom level management's thinking, but they also need to do the planning for top level management, middle level management, and the bottom level management. Let's read it. Just as overall planning of the whole business unit is a responsibility of top level management, similarly, human resource planning is also a responsibility of top level management. So guys, of course, administration of transfer, promotion and training, etc. is assigned to the lower level officials, but planning of human resource of the organization is undertaken by the top level management. So guys, as the point explains, that transfer, promotion, all such kind of works are taken place at the bottom level, but the planning which is done at a top level management. Now the fifth point is for all the grades of employees. It is not only about the bottom level employees, but human resource planning must be for the all grades of employees, whether it is whether the employees at a top level management, whether the employees for the middle level management or the bottom level management. So human resource planning includes all the grades of employees. Now let's read. Human resource planning includes planning for all grades of employees. Human resource planning covers not only lower level personnel such as clerk and ordinary laborers, but managerial staff, heads of the department, supervisors, and foremen also. The reason is obvious. It is the combined effort of all the employees of the organization that smoothens its functioning and enables it to continue its business. Hence, their activity must be fully planned and integrated. So, guys, uh, when we are doing the human resource planning, it is not like that we are doing the planning for the bottom level uh, employees, but we also need to consider the middle level employees. We also need to consider the top level employees in the planning. Now, the sixth point is it is a modern concept. Means human resource planning is a modern concept. It is not only recently that personal management is being viewed as an important part of managerial function. In the last century and even in the beginning of the present century, labor was considered as one of the factor of production like machines, tools, and equipment. So, guys, as we have already seen this point in our previous chapter, that in the previous century labor is considered as a tool of production like machinery, land. So as the other tools of production are, labor or the manpower is also considered as only the tool of production. Labor is not given much importance in the past time, but human resource planning is a modern thing. In such kind of planning, in such kind of thing, in such kind of management, manpower is also given the importance. So, in such kind of approach, not only the organization but the benefit of employees are also taken into the consideration. Now, guys, seventh point is all aspect of personnel included. So, guys, it is not only about the recruitment, but the recruitment, selection, training, development, all the aspect of personal management is taken into the consideration when we are doing the human resource planning. So, guys, as we are discussing the chapter human resource planning, all the things that we are discussing now are considered under the human resource planning. So, all the aspects of personnel included in human resource planning. Let's read it. Management of all aspect of personnel is included in human resource planning. Human resource planning comprises planning of recruitment and selection, promotion and transfer, training and guidance, retirement and dismissal. So all these things of personnel management are considered in the human resource planning. And planning for next point that we are having, which is planning for long term and short term. Human resource planning is not a planning for long term only or the short term only, but it is the planning for both the term, whether it is a long term or the short term. So guys, let's read it. Human resource planning is designed to realize long term objective of the organization. It does not mean, however, that short term requirement of the laborers are altogether neglected. No, long-term plans are prepared in such a manner that they are take care of the short-term requirement also. So, in the human resource planning, we take care of the both the term, whether it is a long term or the short term. And the last and the ninth point is beneficial to the society. How that it provides the employment to the society. Human resource planning is beneficial not only to the organization concerned, it is beneficial to the society also. Human resource planning, when effectively executed, leads to the most efficient of human resource, resulting into the maximum production, employment, and a rising standard of living of the people. So three things that we need to do the focus on. The first one is when the manpower is utilized properly, there will be the maximum production, and by doing maximum production we can satisfy the needs of the people in the market. So this is the first thing. Second thing, it creates the employment, it offers the employment to the people. So by giving the employment, people will earn money, they will get the job, they will get the task, they will get the task and get the job. So by doing that, by doing this, the people of the society will get the employment, and by getting the employment, their standard of living will also be increased. So human resource planning is also beneficial to the society. Now, guys, we have the fourth point on the screen, that is need for human resource planning. Why do we need to do the human resource planning? What are the requirements? So here are some of the requirements. Why do we need to do this? The first one is socialist ideology. What is socialist ideology? So guys, we will read in it that in present day circumstances, trade unions have become very powerful, and government are wedded to the ideal of welfare of state. Government also have implemented some of the legal rules and acts so that employees are, or the manpower who is working in an organization are protected and they at least get minimum wages. They also get the different kind of extra services which needs to be provided by the organization. So government is also very active. Trade unions have also been very powerful. So, hence, the management of the industrial concern cannot take arbitrary decision in the matter of dismissals, recruitment, and wages fixing. So, by such kind of policies which is taken by the government and the trade unions, we can say management cannot take the decisions by themselves, that they cannot decide the wages of the employment or the employees, that okay, we will give only such wages, or we will give only this much of the wages to the employees, though there are some minimal wages rules. So they need to follow such kind of rules. They cannot dismiss any employees from their organization. So there are certain rules of dismissals, and they cannot recruit any employees in the organization. So these are the things which affect the business for long term. So the management must take not the long run effect before they make any decision regarding labor. Human resource planning has therefore become essential. So for these kind of things, for this kind of situation, human resource planning is also required. Second is, it is a modern viewpoint. So guys, as we have already discussed this point, I will read it again. According to modern viewpoint, personnel is an integral part. Integral means a very important part of the business enterprise. Therefore, personal decision must be in the conformity with the plans and functioning of the whole concern. Hence, the human resource planning is essential. Means it is not only for a particular branch, it is not only for a particular level. We need to do the consideration of human resource planning at all the level and all the stages of the all the sections of the organization or the management. Third point is planning in all field of management. Since man is at the center of very aspect of the management, human resource planning has to cover all level of management. In fact, human resource planning has assumed so much importance due to the fact that at no level of management can human being is ignored if business is to flourish. So we must give importance to the human resource at each and every level of the business. We cannot ignore human resources, because without human resources, without the employees, we cannot do the work, we cannot achieve our objective, because they are the one who do the work for the organization. Without them, at any level, the work will not be done. So they are given the importance in the all field of management. Fourth point is reducing labor cost. How can we reduce the labor cost? With the growth of powerful trade unions and with the introduction of minimum wage legislation, labor cost is increased. The management is not in the position to cut wages and salaries to check the rising labor cost. So management cannot cut the wages and salaries by themselves. There are certain rules. So management is not in the position to cut the wages and salaries by themselves. So if they need to reduce the labor costs, what they need to do? They need to give a proper training to the employees. So by getting the training, employees are able to do the production at a very efficient level. They will do the production activity efficiently, and by doing the efficient activity, the wastage of time will be reduced, the wastage of material will be reduced, and they we can say management will get high production in a minimal time and the minimal cost. So guys, this is how the reduction of labor cost occurs. We will read in it. The only alternative open to the management is to improve the productivity of labor and to fully utilize it. But this is not possible without human resource planning. We cannot improve, or we can say we cannot raise the productivity of employees without the human resource planning. We need to do the human resource planning. Fifth point is technological changes. In this age of science and technology, New techniques of production are being fast invented and introduced. Since new techniques are much more complicated, it becomes necessary to employ skilled labor. In this kind of scenario, when new technologies are emerging, new technologies are invented and introduced, and to work in such kind of technological market, we need to have skilled labor. Because if we are not having skilled labor, unskilled labor are not able to do the work in such technological situation. To impart training to the person or present staff, and whatever the staff we are having, we need to give them proper training so that they feel comfortable to work in such technological world. To device transfer and promotion, etc., all these functions can be systematically performed through human resource planning only. Sixth point is balancing demand and supply. We already have discussed this point, that what is balancing of demand and supply. Demand means the number of employees that we are required, and supply means we will get the employees as per our requirement from the market or from the different sources. This is what the balancing of demand and supply. Now, the government restrictions. What are the government restrictions? Government restrictions relating to all aspects of personnel have increased considerably. During the last few years, there is a series of government rules and regulations regarding recruitment, retirement, dismissal, pay scale, pension. So all such things has taken into consideration by the government. Government has some restrictions on such kind of things. Legal procedure is fixed for the settlement of industrial dispute. Due to government restrictions, labor problems have become so complicated that they cannot be solved without human resource planning. So as the government interferes such things, and without the human resource planning, we cannot solve such kind of complicated conflict occurred in the human resources, or we can say manpowers. So we need to do the human resource planning. So guys, these are the 7 points which conveys the message that why do we need the human resource planning. We need human resource planning for social ideology, modern viewpoint, planning in all field of management, reducing labor cost, technological changes, balancing demand and supply, government restrictions. So guys, that's it for today in this lecture of your second chapter, human resource planning. I will come with the next part of the lecture in a very short time. And if you are left with any queries or the question in this chapter, then you can ask me by message or the call me. That's it for today. Thank you. Goodbye.